Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here, and I'm in the lab, but I'm in the book. We about to do the vignette of the Wind of the Heart scene, aka the Judgment scene. And this is just a quick overview. If I had a big screen, I would go through all of this, but this is a story. This is a story. I'm gonna break it down for you. So let's go. Right, this is 25 Reasons to Live by storytelling. Story with a message. There's always the message in my stories. For life, I give life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinkers' way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practiced daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. Don't be them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know spiritually sleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself there too. Might not be true. Right thinkers, P Funk philosophy today. We about to go to lesson. The teacher about to teach. This is one of my favorite scenes, the Wind of the Heart scene. As you see going in, this is my now. I don't know why you bring your wife to your funeral, to your your Wind of the Heart session, but yeah, it's him and his wife. They coming in. He about to get his heart checked out. He about to go through the ringer. He about to find out if he gonna make it or not. I'll be right back. One second. Yeah, sorry about that. Right there, P. Funk's philosophy on the vignette of the chapter 33 of the Papyrus Ani, aka Judgment Scene, from the Pert Heru textbook. This is what it looks like. This is saying a whole lot of stuff. Now, I just got a different perspective about these guys. There's 12 seats up here, right? How many cranial nerves is in the brain? How many zodiac signs we have? That's all mental and it's all predicated symbolism. Oh, I love that. But let's get back to the lesson. I just found that out recently. So my whole perspective, I got a different understanding of the judgment scene. Let me start with this. Now, I don't know who brings their wife to the judgment, but Ani and his wife enters the judgment hall of Maya. This is what I do when I study. I'm saying, dude, you about to go get judged and you bring me your wife? And I never forget, I told my pastor, I said, man, listen, when I come to church, I ain't got always the, he said, no, brother, right? Don't worry about that. When God called you, he didn't call nobody else. So I'm looking at that and said, well, he brought his wife with him. Moving on, just I'm gonna throw that in there. All right, here we go. Let's go back to the lesson. Sorry, but it says now in the scene, it's gonna break it down from left to right. They're gonna explain to you how they coming in, explain to you who they are. These they ain't gonna talk too much about. I got them covered. But this was the scales of Mayat. You see, Mayat is actually right here, and she is represented by her own self. That's the feather. Oh, that's the feather. Okay, oh, the other picture you see she's at the top, but this time it's the feather of Mayat. But this is concepts. This is Anubis. This is Tahuti. He keeps track of everything going on he described. This is Amet. That's the devourer. If your heart is heavier, he get to have his way. Or this is she. Three parts of her. She's half crocodile, half hippo, and half lion. So, but she's the monster of all monsters. All right, and she's a female. But just the scene. It's showing you the scene. And back then, this is how we was educated. We saw it, we understood it, and they broke it down. Let's go. So you see here, from left to right, you got Mishconnect with the birthing brick. And then you got Renette and it's gonna be a little hard. It's gonna be a little hard. Okay, you see the guy right here? This is your Ba, your spirit. It's in the bird form. If your head, his Anu head, should be on the Ba, that means he passed. That means he's already what? Conscious of who he is. He know himself. So that's what they're showing here. This is Miss Connect, the birthing brick. She was there at birth. She's there at death. You see the two girls reading that? They representing harvest and fortune. This is your destiny. He's standing in for you. And this is Anubis making sure you got the fair shake. Everybody's doing their job. Let me get this lesson off. I got to read this thing for you. This is the fun part. All right. But the judgment scene, I just showed you. You got, I showed you Mishkanet, the twins, reading in that, the Ba, which is your soul, with a human head on it in the hawk form. Shah, the standing individual standing for you. Mishkanet. Again, she's seen at the birthing brick, above Shah's head. Anubis, Tahuti Amenet. Anubis, make sure you get the right judgment, you get a fair shake. Tahuti keeps track, and Amet get to eat, but he ain't gonna get to eat today. Why? Because we already know that, because the spirit, your Ba, got his head on it, so we already know that he's going that way. If the bird head is on the spirit, that means you didn't make it. Okay, and everybody can look at this. Oh, he passed by. We see them in the period. But you see as they go, I got another saying where his clothes, right? Remember the ghost? He got ghosts. When he come in, you see like this. Later on, his hair would be white. Okay, he's going to transform. Okay, that's the concept. All right, but they do that in all the scenes. This is a vignette. They're going to tell the story, a little quick little snapshot. All right. But I just gave all the players of the game. Now, the judgment scene above shows you how every person their own actions are responsible for their own actions, and they are judged what? On how this leads a person to their fate. How you lived your life, how intellectual you was, how smart you was, how good you were, all those things. Your fate is going to be determined. Watch this. Either for you to move on and discover the divine, aka God, and become one with Asar, the divine, or you will be led to suffer and your conscience and your heart will be eaten due to your negative actions in the past, or to your spirit will reincarnate, your soul will reincarnate, but your conscience, your heart will be going to Amet. The papyrus of Ani, it dates back to the 18th dynasty in the dynastic period of ancient Egypt around 1500 BCE. That's 1500 years before we get to Christ, and then here. So you're looking at roughly 4,000 years ago. Okay, it's a give about, yeah. But that was then. And they were showing you how their funeral arrangements were, how the concept of the judgment day. But it shows you a philosophy that relates to the Assyrian resurrection theology. We had theologies too. We got cosmic concepts that has been traced how far back? Back to the pre-dynastic age, 5,000 years ago, and which constitutes one of the central teachings of ancient Egyptian religion. The Ma'at principle, ding, 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 that's what right thinking philosophy practices. The following detailed description of this vignette of our ancient Egyptian concept of judgment, the scene it alludes to by S.M.L. Mansari, who provides a deeper insight into the workings of the Kemetic system of Ani. This is, of Ari, action. Remember, we call it karma. In Egyptians, we call it Ari. Indians call it karma. In Egyptian, I gave the breakdown last lesson. What Ari is action, something that you do. So you're being judged on your Ari. Your actions, yours, not nobody else's. Okay? So judgment of your soul. It starts out when Ani comes in and addresses his heart. At the top, you see the gods or goddesses presiding from right to left up here. Okay. I always thought these was God and goddesses. I didn't see it no more than that. But and there's 12 of them. But guess what? This is the zodiac. You got Gemini. You got two sets of twins. You got the Gemini, the twins. Then you got the Pisces, the fish. There it go right here. And there it go, I think, right here. Okay? So that makes it the 12 cycles. Okay? So the 12 cranial nerves, the 12 zodiac signs, the 12 months a year. All that is symbolically all that's in that picture. And when I saw a guy break it down his way, I freaked out. Whole different concept. Same picture, same, but he broke it down with the zodiac. He put them up. I said, "Ooh, I was tough." I was impressed with that. Okay, same picture, different breakdown. All right, so here we go. Let me do my thing. But at the top, it shows you at the top the gods and goddesses, and from right to left, start out. You got Ra, the sun. Atum, you got Shu, air. Tefnut, water, moisture. Geb represents earth. Nut represents heaven. Nephet, the opposite of Aset, the twin sisters. That's the set of twins. Okay? Nephet and Aset, they're twins. Then you got Heru Heru is you maturing with self-knowledge. You know yourself. Means great. Okay, so that's a full-grown Heru. Then you got Het Heru, his female companion. And then the last two we call Sa and Hu. One represents divine taste and the other represents divine understanding. That's the 12 cranial nerves in the head, the zodiac sign. Any way you want to break it down, it still comes down to 12, all right? And from far left, you see coming in, Ani enters the hall of judgment. They call it Maya. With his heart. In the heart conscious, your heart has a brain. It has a, we ain't going there right now, but it's spelled, your heart conscious is spelled Conscience, meaning it's a science that's been proven. Not conscious of the brain, the mind, where you think and become aware. This is a different conscience. The brain has this, conscious has its own, heart has its own conscious brain that functions in it 10 times as strong as the conscious we have in our head. Why? That's what's going to keep all the records. That's the hard drive of your body. How about that? So I'm not computer savvy, so that's enough as far as I'm going with that. But your heart conscious is what's going to be weighed. What you mean? Yeah, what you done, conscious is in the heart. Your intentions, everything lays in the heart. So that's what's being weighed at Judgment Day. And Anubis is making sure what? That the divine principles of Shah, Renet, and Mishkanet, they looking on. They the witnesses, okay? And when Anu making sure everything is set, fair shot, your heart, feather Mayat, depending on how that thing go, it's going to be what Anubis is the one that's going to take you. Either he's going to escort you and hand you over to Heru, he's going to take you to his father. If you pass, you're going to go meet Heru. I'm going to meet Asar. If you don't pass, have at it. Okay, that's the concept. So let's go. But now Ani's soul and his destiny also looks on while Anubis measures Anu's heart. His unconscious mind containing all the impressions, or what we call residue. Okay? That's against the feather of Maya. In essence, the principles, the 42 negative confessions. When I bought that poster over 30 years ago, I had maybe 5. And I'm being nice. This client wouldn't be that bad. But yeah, I wasn't in the ballpark. But how I was living, the things that I was being honest with myself with that, I changed my life with that concept. Okay, principle that I manifested. She ain't a real person. Tahuti ain't a real person. The guys, they're not real. These are all concepts and symbolism esoteric teachings to give you a hidden message, to give you better knowledge, understanding, insight of yourself, how your brain works, how everything is done. This is what we try to point out to you, to give you understanding and follow the philosophy that will make you a good person. So at the end of this physical life, you'll go into the afterlife. It's not you're going to come back and repeat this life. Moving on. That's the concept. And the principles work. I can tell you that. If something been around a long time, it works. Why? Because it wouldn't be around if it didn't. In the principles of the 42 precepts of Maya, which represents truth, righteousness, order, and my favorite, reciprocity, etc. And at far right, you see the guy we call Tahuti with the ibis head. He keeps records. He's your memory. Okay? He's the mind. He's what keeps track of everything up here. Okay? And the results he's going to keep track of while the God, he's the God of records. And while Amet, the monster, three called a devourer, they call him the devourer of the unjust. She awaits the answer also. If that scare, decided got the heart on it, like meat, your heart sitting there, they got it in the face there, but it really on the heart is their job. They go into your chest and pull it out on the scale. I got a nice little story about that if I can get to it. But the concept is your heart is there and the feather of my yacht. If that thing goes like this, I may start salivating. Okay? If it goes like this, or you can be a little lighter in the feather, that means you was real good. Okay? That means you were exceptional. Okay? But now I mess up. You sit back and he ain't gonna eat today. But he knows another one coming, he'd be ready to go. So that's the concept. All right. That's what we call judgment. And according to Dr. Clark, no exceptions. Why? Everybody has to have it. Okay? If you're human, you're going to have to pass the judgment at the end of this physical life to decide if you're going to go into what we call the afterlife. And you only get to the afterlife if you live this physical life right. Trust Mr. Right. Let's go. I'm trying to help you. And now Amet waits for he's the devourer of the unjust, waits for the answer. But now in the hands of Tahuti, which is good, which is God of reason, right thinking, right reasoning, and Shah, which means your destiny. He's where you're going to end up. He represents you and your destiny. And Rinnanet, which means the both of them means fortune and harvest. You reap what you sow. That's what they represent. And these are all aspects of your character. These are all parts of you that you need to learn to master yourself, because at Judgment Day, they all going to be on display. Moving on. But this implication, the concept is what we reap the harvest. And that's the result of our state of mind, aka our heart mind, the conscious mind, the true heart, the true mind, and our state of conscious mind, including our subconscious, the feelings and desires, is weighed against what we call cosmic order, ultimate justice, divine, mayat. And if it's found, your heart, to be at peace, meaning light as the feather, and therefore you lived in accordance to the cosmic laws of Mayat, or in that case, right thinking philosophy, because it is the Mayat philosophy, you will be allowed to join with the cosmos, aka Asar. That's when your heart weighs out and you pass. Anubis take you, hand you over to Heru. Heru take you to his father, and you do what you do. That's if you pass. Well, what if wait a minute, we got that covered. If I keep telling you, if their reward for doing good, and that's at the end of life, that's the reward we call judgment. If you did what you needed to do and proving that you was good at the judgment, you will pass. If you didn't do the things you needed to do because you wanted to do you wanted to have fun, you wanted, you forsaken your higher self. So now you got to answer for that. And y'all who in that category, ignorant, scared to death. Why? Y'all think death is near. Yeah, and death is. Yeah, the hellhounds come to take you out. No afterlife for you. Okay? And that's what drives them crazy. I've seen it. Understand? Watch this. So otherwise, the other way, it will suffer. Your fate is detected by what? Your own contents, your own mental state of unrest, your own irony, the actions that you perform while you was here in the flesh. And due to your lingering desires of flesh and physical things, obviously, of this world, you ain't done with it yet, so you coming back. Which will what? Lead your conscience or your heart to Amet, who will devour your ego personality. I gotta say something right quick. I've been studying the Carl Jung, right? Carl Jung, and he ran the hospice house or the hotel where people come to die. And he said everybody at the end, everybody to a man, ego gave in. That means they crashed, they freaked out. Why? Because they're them. That's what's going to die. The person you identify yourself with. And if you haven't enlightened yourself, that's what you're scared to death of. Why? You being gone forever. And that's what's going to happen. You already know that. But to find out at death time don't help you none. When you live in your life, that's when you got to put that work in. I tell you, the work I say, put the work in, doing the right thing. I'm going to do what's right. Why? That's how I earn my blessings. That's how I keep my heart light. I don't have no hidden agenda. I don't have no bad stuff. I'm transparent. I'm fair. I live what I teach. So I got to do that. I got the eye on me. I wear the eye. I live under the eye. So I'm good with that. And this is Judgment Day is telling you, if you do that, why? It's the reason that you need to do that. And those who do, know. Those who don't, won't. Watch this. So your soul now will experience what we know to be torment. Or they tell you, your hell, the hellfire, the hellhounds on your trail. When you have nightmares in this life, that means you're not going to make it. Why? Because if you lived a good life, you wouldn't have nightmares. Nightmares is all your negative stuff coming out, your subconscious stuff, your dark side. We call them hellhounds. Why? That's where they come from. Okay? And you will experience torment from what? Your own demons. Until what? Until you yourself learn its lessons. How? Through this process of what we call trial and error, aka human life, okay, experience. And then your pursuit of an authentic process of what we call the mystical practice or right thinking philosophy for you to what? To become strong enough through what? Experience and wisdom to what? Know thyself and become an enlightened being. That's what I profess. That's what I learned. That's what I teach. And that's what I love to get you to understand it. But if you get the concept, it's up to you. Once I give it to you, you do what you want with it. Okay, if I'm giving you money, go whatever, but it's up to you to spend it any way you want. I'm giving you self-knowledge. Trust me, use it. It works. The demons may be understood as what? The ego, negative cosmic energies. Okay, Luke, use the force. If the force can be used for what? Good or bad. Okay, but which has allowed itself to indulge in what? In the form of mental anguish and torments. People put themselves through. Human ego is error prone. It's not going to do what's right. Why? It don't care. Enlightened beings hold themselves accountable to do what's right. It's two different philosophies that one will get you there and one won't. And when you go to yourself through what? Torment that people put themselves through, it's only due to what? Their own ignorance. Ding, 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 ding. We know that what? We will be destroyed through what? Lack of knowledge, aka ignorance. And we are more ignorant than we is knowledgeable. And we've been knowing that ignorance is what's our problem for over 2,000 years. What that say about us as a people. And what? Due to your own self-ignorance, Self, again, this is self. This is all being done to every individual is doing it to themselves. Why? Self-torment may be what you call regret over what? Some action or some interaction while what? While you were alive, or a reluctance to what? Leave the physical realm. Why? Because you still desire things of the flesh, stuff materialistic. And because of what? Your lingering desires for these things to experience the more earthly pleasures, more things from the earth, guess what? Therefore, one control one's own fate, and it's all according to one's own level of what? Wisdom, experience, or what we call right reasoning, or the capability to what? Know thyself. If you're ignorant of yourself, you can't answer for yourself. Hope you got the lesson. Sorry it took a little long, but that's one of my favorite things. I did it by the book. I was going to just go off on tangents, but I just didn't see the need for that. But again, these top people up here, my man broke it down. This is the zodiac. I was impressed with that concept. I've been doing this for a little while. I never saw that one. That little book of wisdom, this little book here. I love this book. They got some good stuff. And trust me, they about to ban the book. What? Because it's information that they don't particularly care for. That's not your decision, but that's another lesson. All right, right thing aside about that. But in closing, may you all live to be 100, me 100 miles a day. So I'll never know my right thing because who got an understanding, hopefully a better concept of the wind of the heart from the vignette of chapter 33 and passed away, a.k.a. the judgment scene. I'll be back with more. My yacht as the spiritual path of righteous action. Yes, this is the stuff I grew up on, so to speak. I'll be back.